Hood classics.
Hey, welcome back to the channel. This is Kareem Williams, and today we got another food review. We are at Mrs. White's Soul Food Restaurant. This restaurant has been running for 6 decades. Trust me when I tell you, this is the spot. This is the aunt to Lolo's Chicken and Waffles. And we're going to get into their food, and we're going to get into the history. Plus, I got a special guest with me today, and I'm going to let y'all see who that is a little bit later. But let's get into here and see what they got.
Tribe, that's a landmark. Looking back at where we came from, just me and my day ones. Got it from the ground up to asphalt. We don't play none. Hit you up and spray ya. Leave a hater's brains on the dashboard. Done young just to make it. Straight from the cradle to the grave. Man, my streets are a crash course. We rebound like a backboard. Risky years just to have more. Trapping trying to put.
Really quickly, guys, let me give you a little bit about the history of this wonderful place. Mrs. White's Soul Foods was established in 1964. This is the oldest running soul food place here in Phoenix, Arizona. Now, what people don't know is that her brother used to own this place, and it was called the Church Cafe. Mrs. White took it over in 1964, and now we have Mrs. White's, one of the longest running soul food restaurants here in Phoenix, Arizona. People like Al Sharpton, Devin Booker, Senator John McCain, and many other celebrities have frequented this place. A very also important part is that Lolo's Chicken and Waffles, Larry White, this is the aunt. This is where he got his start. So we're going to go in here, we're going to get some of the food, and we're going to see what it's really hitting for. When I looked on Yelp, the reviews were subpar. So we're going to see if it's a tourist trap or if it's a landmark, monumental place that everybody should go. Let's go inside and see what it's in.
Man, sharks all around in the pool where I swim. Been on my but you pretend. Been doing that you intend. Integrity solid, won't budge or won't bend. They want what you got but won't put the work in. Before they commit, they hate and condemn everything that I am, everything they resent. Cause I'm on a level they can't comprehend. Came from the mud, working.
So guys, let's take a look at the menu really quickly at Mrs. White's Golden Rule Cafe. As you can see, they have oxtails here, $30. That's expensive. Oxtails have been really running rampant lately. And I think we are going to go with the golden brown southern fried chicken with the 2 sides. I think as far as the 2 sides, we got to do the rice and gravy because their rice and gravy is amazing. And we might do the mac and cheese. Yeah, but definitely the rice and gravy. Switching over the menu, just so you can see, they have sandwiches here as well. Plethora of sandwiches, drinks, gotta add a Kool-Aid. And then they got dessert. We got cobbler, pie, and homemade cake. Yes. So let's get this order in so we can start to eat. So guys, as I told y'all before, I have a special guest with me. Without further ado, welcome back to the channel. So we are at Mrs. White's Golden Rule Cafe. What will you be having today?
Oh, you know, it was a difficult decision, Lefty, but it's been 10 years since I had chicken fried steak, so I think I'm going to go with that with a side of rice and gravy and then a side of mac and cheese.
That sounds amazing.
Oh my God, I can't wait.
How has things been?
Things have been interesting. It's been a whole adventure since I've been to Arizona, really. But it's been a good adventure, though. It's been a good adventure. So I get to hang out with you, so it's always a plus.
It's always a plus. And what do you know about Mrs. White's Golden Rule Cafe?
Mrs. White, this is my first time coming to Mrs. White's Golden Rule Cafe, so I didn't actually know it existed until you told me that it existed, which I was like, yes, I'm all about soul food. I'm all about supporting, black-owned businesses as well. So I'm excited to try it out, and it's one of the oldest spots in Phoenix as well for soul food. So I'm excited.
Talk about women power. To be opening a restaurant in 1964 where the civil rights movement is going strong, and to be successful is just an honor. And she just turned 100 years old.
I saw
Mrs.
that.
White.
100 years old, and that's amazing to have lived through those times and to be empowered yourself and to do this and to make it last like a legacy. That's amazing.
Absolutely. But what people really care about is the food and how the food tastes. So we're gonna order and then we're gonna see what the food is hitting for. Okay?
Definitely. I'm excited. Let's do it.
So guys, we're back and we have our food here. As you can see, hope you can see all that. We had a side of green beans and potatoes, and then we have our drink. So let's get digging in. First thing we're gonna try is the rice and gravy. You can see there's the rice and gravy. Okay. Next we're going to try the macaroni and cheese.
Okay. Over there.
Next we're going to try the green beans. Okay. And now, what we came here for, the fried chicken.
I hear the to go. Yeah. Can I get food?
Let's talk more each. Shout out to you each. Wow.
Oh yeah, you can just leave.
Now, let's get into this food and tell you what I think about it. So, let's start off with the green beans. The green beans was nice and hot. Nice and hot. I liked the green beans a whole lot. Had a lot of flavor to it. And it was really, really good. Really, really good. As far as the rice and gravy, it didn't gel on me. And it didn't taste as good as previously. And this is one of the things that I was most excited about. But it was subpar at best. The macaroni and cheese was okay. Really, really was okay. And the fried chicken was okay as well. So, now, let's get into Neva's food and see what she has to say.
All right. So I got the chicken fried steak. Let's get into it. It's been 10 years since I had rice and gravy, so. Okay. Okay. On to the mac and cheese. All right. That's vibing a little bit. And finally, the chicken fried steak right there.
Have you noticed that your mac and cheese is different from mine?
I did notice that. I was going to say something. I was like, interesting. All right, chicken fried steak. Okay. Let's dive a little bit into this.
Okay.
So let's start with the rice and gravy. So it's been 10 years since I had rice and gravy, and I can say that it was not overly good, a little bit subpar. And the mac and cheese, there's a lot of interesting cheese in here. It had an interesting taste, an interesting texture. And it was different than Lefty's food. You can tell that they just kind of threw some cheese in here. But let's move on to the chicken fried steak. Now this is good. I could eat this all day. Like, it's perfectly fried, it's tender, it had a lot of spice to it, it had a lot of flavor. And oh my God, yes, just yes. Not these two things, but yes. It usually comes with white sauce, so I was a bit surprised that it came with just the gravy. But the chicken fried steak, definitely, is a yes.
All right. So guys, we're going to dig into this food and probably going to get it to go. I don't think I want to eat anymore. And we're going to go somewhere to give you our final thoughts on what we feel about Mrs. White's soul food. Okay?
Gotta push every minute, every hour, over time on the books. When it comes to my bars, they can try to overlook, but in my streets, I'm a giant, just like Optimus Prime.
Welcome back, guys. And now we are here with our final thoughts of how Mrs. White's Golden Cafe was. Was it worth $68.70? Let's get into it.
Let's do it. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about the pros first.
Okay.
You give yours, then I'll give mine.
Okay.
But before we do that, make sure you guys like, comment, and if you love the video, subscribe to the channel. Let them know what your channel is.
Oh, hey, Neva here. Go check out my channel, Neva's Space. I'll be there all day, every day.
Ha-ha! Now let's get into the pros of what we just experienced.
The pros, definitely. The pros, well, the customer service. We were greeted. Everybody was very friendly.
Yes.
Let's see, free refills.
Granted, it was only about 5-6 people in the store anyway, so there wasn't no reason for them to run around and be anyway. So, but hey.
Sometimes you gotta look busy, but yeah, no, I agree with that. That's some of the pros. You got the free refills on the drinks.
The refills, the Kool-Aid was the highlight of the show.
It was, and it was $6.50
for Kool-Aid? Yeah. Inflation is something else, people. Inflation is something else.
$6.50 for Kool-Aid. But the free refills.
Louise. Free refills was the help. So now let me get into my pros. My pros were, again, the customer service. But granted, we should have had even better customer service because there was nobody there. You know, and then think about it. It's Mother's Day. It's a Sunday. This place is around so many different churches, but we're in there at 2 o'clock and it's empty on Mother's Day.
The churches were packed more.
Yeah.
On the outside, that was...
Yeah. But the pros, nevertheless, the chicken was okay. I could dealt with the chicken. Macaroni and cheese was okay.
It's okay.
Okay. A lot of mid-okay moments for me. And the part that gets me is that I was so hyped to come here. Like, I really dug into the research of this establishment and what it brings to the community. But I have to say, let me hold that thought for a minute. I'm gonna let you tell your negatives.
My negatives are, I don't want to make a long list, but I mean, let's start with our food not coming out at the same time. His came out before mine.
Yeah.
Then they forgot his green beans until the moment that my food came out.
Yeah.
Then they asked if it was his, and then, shall we talk about the mac and cheese? There were two different types
They
of
gave
mac
us
and
two
cheese
different
going
types
on.
of mac and cheese. I'm gonna put it side by side, or I'll show you guys both of the mac and cheeses, and you can see for yourself two different types of mac and cheese.
The mac and cheese itself
What's going on in the kitchen? What's going on in the kitchen?
There was no love on the plate. Even the mac and cheese itself tasted, you get that dairy taste from like a box mac and cheese.
Yes.
That's kind of what it tasted like, but it was just dairy. There was no taste to it.
And then your chicken fried steak, it was just a whole bunch of bread at the end, right?
I did scrape off the breaded part. The steak was actually tender when they fried it. It was good. It was good. I just had to scrape it off. And should we talk about the rice and gravy? That was mine.
Oh, man.
That was gonna be my highlight. I haven't had it in 10 years.
And I want to apologize for taking you to a place that serves you so subpar rice and gravy. They used to have the best rice and gravy ever, but clearly either the cooks changed, the principles and the morals changed, but the rice and gravy just ain't it. It ain't it no more. Like, the food is not what it used to be. The food is not quality. And at the end of the day, it's not worth $68, $70, and it's definitely a tourist trap. I would rather you go to Lolo's Chicken and Waffles. We went to Lolo's Chicken and Waffles, or I did, and I did a review. If you guys look up top at the end of this video, you'll be able to see and click it and watch it. But you could tell that Larry White has taken the torch from Mrs. White and has ran with it and took it to a new level. Because right now, and granted Mrs. White is 100 years old, you can tell that the business is getting old by how it's ran. And when you go to Lolo's Chicken and Waffles and then you come to Mrs. White's, it's like night and day. It's like night and day. So at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, Mrs. White's is not worth the hype. It's a tourist trap. I can't recommend it. And if the sad part is that if this was 5 years ago, I would be telling you this every Sunday you should be at this place. Every Sunday. But not no more. Not no more. Guys, thank you for watching. And if you want to check out my video that I did at Lolo's, just click up top. You'll see up here, you'll see 2 videos. One will be for Lolo's and the other one will be for, who knows, YouTube suggested. And with that said, like, comment, subscribe, click the bell, turn on all notifications, so when I drop a video, you could be notified. Holla if you can't, then don't bother.
Under the lens, the optics were looking so grim. Separate boys from the men, prepare and commit, attacking on every